Hey guys, welcome back to the VaporCast. Here, Zoro's here, and with another special episode, our second episode with your boy, Second Sight.
Hey, what up?
And today we have two guests. First time we have two guests in a while. We have the Donnerlands crew. We
Hello.
we have
Hey,
Jay,
hey.
and we have Thom here.
Aggressive.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm gonna blow my speakers, my guy.
Yeah,
No, you're good. I'm kidding.
yeah, the Donnerlands crew. If you're unfamiliar, they had their recent album Midnight Store completely blow up my Flamingo. I mean, of course, you already know. If you're watching this, you know it's like one of the biggest albums of the year.
If you don't, it's a fucking banger.
Yeah, I'm
Check
gonna
it
agree.
out.
Check it out. It's
Go get it.
yes,
It's like $5.
it's like it's worth it.
We always enjoy talking to Americans about our music because like when like British guys are talking about music, it's like it's all right, it's good, it's good, like that
Yeah.
that counts as like really high praise. And then like whenever we speak to Americans in the scene, there's like so much enthusiasm. It's really nice to hear.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think this is our first time having an international guest, if I believe so, which is always awesome to have people from different sides of the world. You know. All right, I'll begin.
We kind of, I mean, we have to be more or less on US time for things anyway because like the whole thing is skewed. So
Yeah.
you know, like the community is so like led by Americans.
Yeah. Well, luckily
It's unfortunate.
luckily it's not too late.
Yeah, it's not like it's like a 5-hour difference, but time zones are time zones. All right, I'll start with our first question, which is a very simple first question, and I guess both can answer it or together if it's the same answer, whichever you want to that work. What first got you into vaporwave? I guess Jay, I guess you can answer that one first.
What first got me into vaporwave? Well, I would say that what first turned me on to vaporwave was through retrowave, synthwave, that kind of world. Because there's like definitely a big kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like crossover. Yeah, right. Like so we have like people who listen to it, make it, fans, labels, whatever, artwork, even some of the music. There's definitely a big crossover. Anyway, yeah. So I guess I got into that genre first, and yeah, just naturally kind of, came across this album. And that album was, I think, probably the first album. As cliche as it is, probably the first album that I heard was Floral Shop, and then yeah, you just kind of fall down the rabbit hole. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
What about you, Thom? Is it Thom or Thom? I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. Apologies.
Tom, like Tom York.
Okay. Oh, Thom York. Okay. Thank you. I'm not very good at names. Yeah, did you get
It's
into
all good.
vaporwave?
Kind of like through like a slightly kind of academic route. I was doing like a master's in musicology in London in like 2012, and we had some kind of youngish lecturers who were into like my lecturer was this guy called Stephen Graham, who I think was like had just written a PhD on The Caretaker,
Oh shit.
and he was, which is really cool. Like a really serious young academic guy who was interested in like pretty sort of vapor adjacent stuff, and like we talked about that, and I think we even in a lecture once, I think we even talked about Nobody Here, like Jack Persons. I don't know what's the name of the YouTube channel that the like Rainbow Road Nobody Here thing is hosted on. It's not under Chuck Person. It's called something else. I can't remember what though.
Um, Isn't it like
I don't know.
sunset something?
Yeah, Sunset Core or something like that.
Sunset
Yeah.
Core. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. It's one of Trick's point ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember being like really mesmerized by that, and I was listening to like pretty adjacent stuff at the time as well. Like I was really into Ariel Pink and John Mouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like skirting around vaporwave as it happened, and was also like making slightly kind of echo jammy stuff myself.
Wow.
But like it never released it. I had no idea how to kind of interact with the scene and stuff. Like it's kind of a bit of a regret. Like I wish I'd sort of communicated with people on Last FM or whatever it's called, Turntable FM, like these kind of little networking spaces that I know that people like Luxury Elite were using, like in early days. Like I was listening to the music at the time. I was even sort of making the music at the time, but I wasn't interacting with other people who did. So yeah, that would have been in like 2012 for a few years, and then kind of moved away a bit. But I mean, Jay and I have known each other for quite a long time, but like in terms of like working with each other and like talking a lot, like it's, you know, ramped up in intensity a lot over the last few years. And I guess like I kind of picked up off him, like, you know, that I don't know, we were working really similar day jobs. Like we were both working as music teachers, and you know, he managed to quit his music teaching job to go full time with My Pet Flamingo. And I was just thinking like, whoa, this vaporwave thing has got legs. You know, this vaporwave thing that I hadn't really thought about too much for a few years. I was just thinking like, wow, there's like a really, really active community, and that's kind of what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Like I'd never like really participated in the music scene to that extent.
Wow.
Oh shit, you kind of just answered 2 questions.
No, we'll get back to that one, but that's crazy. You've been in the scene a while. You've been in music for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're old. Well, I'm old.
Not old in that way, just like in a, you know, we've been there like since the birth. I guess 2012 is when people kind of consider the birth. In a way. That's awesome. I love hearing from everyone's answer for that question is always different, and I love it. It's just crazy.
Jay's always hassling me to release some of that stuff because I found a bunch of hard drives like more recently, and I sent him bits and pieces, like being like, you know, guess the year or whatever, like sending him stuff, and it's not great. Like there's cool stuff in it. I wouldn't want to release it as it was, like, but there's some stuff that could definitely like be polished, give a little, you know, lick of paint, and then be released.
I think I think it would be a good idea. Sort of
I love
like
that.
kind of like a time capsule of sorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's bad to interfere with these things, but like it's not great. They're like little experiments, but it's interesting.
I think that's kind of cool though. Like like rough edges and stuff like that. I think people really like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Plus,
they hear the beginning of Donnerland, you know, or Donnerland.
See, you know, where you started out and how far you guys came.
You know, see the
complete
evolution. You're telling me, oh, I think the fans would love that. I really do. It'd be such a like, you know, unique album.
I do like completely understand why you'd be nervous to do it. Like I can't imagine kind of like, you know, lots of people kind of release demos and like work in progress and stuff like that. I like can't imagine doing that kind of stuff. So I can totally see why you'd be nervous to.
Yeah, it's pretty revealing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like listen to how bad my production chops were like 6 years ago or whatever.
Hey, we all gotta start somewhere.
All gotta start somewhere, yeah.
I think that's cool about the vaporwave scene though, is that like people like watching the artists grow. I feel like in some other genres you have to kind of put out like a pretty manicured and like perfect discography. Like you have to kind of appear fully formed. In vaporwave, I think people love watching their artists kind of evolve and change, and, you know, having their mistakes out in public.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
You know, something so raw and honest about it.
Yeah, I've loved that.
Yeah, definitely.
I watched my boy Super High Titan evolve from the start, since he was just like his first album like earlier this year, and now he's, you know, crazy playing at Flamingo Fest and stuff. It's crazy to see.
Yeah.
People.
He's insanely prolific, right? Did you say he's got 25 records or something?
He like pumps out. He used to pump out like an album a week. It was this weird thing. Like he's somehow managed to find these amazing samples and then just classic vapor it up, and it would be perfect. Yeah, I just don't know how he did it.
I gotta say, me and him kind of, I relate to him a lot because I fucking push out a bunch of.
Oh yeah, it's like like puts out like hour-long ambient albums a week sometimes.
Oh yeah.
One of the I love this guy, Second Sight. One of the best vaporwave ambient musicians ever. I don't think I've said that, but to be honest, it's true.
All right,
But you do have the next question, Mr. Second Sight.
Yeah.
Mister.
Oh. Ooh.
It's a very good. I
So,
think it's a really interesting question.
so going back to what you're saying with you guys were teachers. Is that how you guys met, or did you guys know each other prior to that?
How
It's
did you
quite
guys
complex, right, Jay? But
Yeah.
like the short answer is kind of yes. Like we know each other through like a kind of weekend music school. That was like my first music teaching job. I think Jay, you were actually like a student there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I taught like Jay's younger brother, and we kind of became family friends through that.
Wow.
But like, I mean, what's the age gap between us? It's like 4 or 5 years, right? Like, I was a really young teacher. I got the teaching gig when I was like 19, maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like my first. I was still at university. It was like studying music at university, but I got like this kind of weekend music teaching job, teaching drums, and I got to know Jay and his family through, including Enzo actually, who runs MPF. I got to know those guys like through this music school.
Like a personal, very personal thing. I feel like a lot of vaporwave is less like, you know this guy, but it's crazy, guys. Face to face, you know each other. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I was teaching Tom the guitar for a little while as well. So that was like when I first started getting into teaching, actually, I think. And Tom could play loads of instruments, but I think you'd never really learnt the guitar, had you?
Yeah, it was almost from scratch. I needed to get my guitar skills way better for like a different teaching job. I was basically like sort of Jack Blacking it as a kind of coaching rock bands. And my guitar skills were appalling, like significantly worse than the kids that I was coaching. So Jay got me up to speed.
Wow. I have a small related question that I'm curious. Do you ever like show your music to your students as like an example sometimes, or is that just like that doesn't happen? Like your own albums.
Yeah, I have done. I've shown. I remember when when Miracle Lounge came out, and I had like a few mini discs on me, and I was just like, I showed some of the kids. I was like, do you guys even know what these are? And they were like so baffled.
Yeah, what
like they can, but I think like the younger kids I teach, like they couldn't care less really. I mean, like.
Yeah.
I think they probably think that I play in a rock band or something, like which is fine. Like it's kind of too complex to explain that like I'm in a vaporwave scene. Like that's way too confusing. I did actually have one kid who was like really into vaporwave, which was hilarious. He was like a big Luxury Elite fan. So I was supposed to be teaching him piano, but he had no interest in it, and I just I told him to bring in his laptop, and I just like showed him how to make tracks on Ableton.
Oh shit! Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, maybe he was hardcore as well. He's probably listening.
Shout out. That's actually so cool.
Hey.
I do consider you guys a rock band though, in my way. I feel like you guys rock. Even though I just feel like, I think you guys are a rock band in a way.
Oh man, well the band thing is like a source of stress at the moment because we are actually trying to put together a live band. And like we had like a kind of filming session booked to kind of. It was actually. I mean, it was even going to be a bit like a gig. There was going to be like a small in-person audience, and it was going to go out streaming. We had like a 6-piece band together, but the UK's just like changed their like coronavirus regulations to restrict like groups to no more than 6. So we literally just kind of found that out in the last day. So
that's unfortunate.
Well,
I think we're going to make it happen, but like just with some tweaks.
Well, if you need a drummer, I've been playing drums for like half my life.
You drum?
I
Wow.
do.
Fly all the way over to the UK.
I mean, I
to
got
go drum.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a passport. I'm down.
Nice.
If you need a last minute sit-in, you know.
Okay, so last episode you said you were going to beat someone in Mario Kart Wii. This episode now you say you're going to fly all the way to the UK to go play drums.
Fuck yeah, you kidding me?
Right, go for it, man. Go for it.
I mean, got a passport. Why not use it? You know,
Yeah, it's true.
I'm gonna have to wait till after all this shit flies over. But I mean,
Yeah, that sounds sensible.
Sounds like a
We're
plan.
itching to get to the States, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
it'd be so nice to come to the US and like meet people in person, like have a jam.
I would love that.
yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Show up for a gig. I know I've never done a face reveal, but
They've I think they've just doubled the cost of artist visas for UK musicians coming to the States. I think the application is like $500 or something
Holy shit.
more.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the way it works is you pay an application fee, and you can get like up to 25 people on that one visa. So it's like no more expensive to have like, I don't know, like a whole soccer team going over to the States, that like compared to like Ed Sheeran and his acoustic guitar. Like you pay one fee for the visa, but it's like insane. It's kind of prohibitively expensive, and they take their time processing it, and they quite often just say no anyway.
Oh shit.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a dream to be able to perform in the States, but like there are obstacles.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like fun, unfortunately. But one day we'll raise the funds. Everyone go buy Miracle Lounge. We need them
Yeah,
over here
pay
in the
for our
States.
visa.
Pay for our visa.
There you go.
I think this next question might be a little specific, or kind of like a specifically about Midnight Store, because I know Midnight Store, the album, is based off a real store. I don't remember if it's actually called Midnight Store or not, or if it's a. I remember seeing you guys at the store. What's the store called, by the way?
Midnight Store.
It's called the Midnight Store.
It's actually called the Midnight Store.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I thought it had a different name. So let's see how this question goes. So, is there any like parallels or differences between the real life Midnight Store and then the Midnight Store that you show in the album, like the music in its own way? Like, what's the differences? What's like the similarities?
Well, I think visually, the outside of the shop looks exactly the same as in real life. Like Tropical Virtual, who did the artwork for it, like
on Tropical Virtual?
like made it in like did a 3D render of it. It just looks amazing. It looks like pretty much exactly the same as the
Oh yeah,
as the actual shop itself.
it's
beautiful.
Amazing.
It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And like the closer you zoom into the picture, like he's just added all these little Easter eggs here and there. It's just amazing. Like little
Shit, now
MPF
that-
stickers and like posters and stuff. It's awesome. But then the back cover is actually the inside of a shop in East London, which the name has escaped me. Tom, what's it called again?
It's called the Akdeniz supermarket. It's
That's
like a
the one.
Turkish shop.
Oh,
But, yeah, like the inside of the Midnight Store is slightly more fictionalized. I guess that's kind of like a metaphor for the record as a whole. Like it'd be completely mad to make like a kind of literal documentary of a space, right? Like we just like use the exterior as like a starting point to kind of get our imagination going. So like inside the shop, like in terms of the images that Tropical Virtuals used in like the still images on the like album artwork, but also like the video he did. Like there's a video for the song Midnight Store where you can, you actually go inside the shop.
Yeah.
That
So,
is like
video.
way more fictionalized.
Beautiful video.
Oh shit, I gotta check that.
Yeah,
out.
it's insane. It looks more American inside. Like the inside the Midnight Store is like quite haphazard, and it's like, I mean, there's like a shelf of bongs and like very sort of
nice.
UK specific drinks and
Yeah,
stuff.
I was gonna ask like that question, like what's the weirdest thing inside the Midnight Store? But I think that answered my question.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
Enormous glass bongs.
Oh, and they
That
sell
Made for
answers my
Americans,
question.
maybe. But...
they sell like huge bundles of like baggies as well, by the like where you know, like, so like just in front of the counter there's like chocolate bars, chewing gum, and then like just big bundles of like baggies, like what you'd like a dealer would have like weed in or whatever. For some reason
wow.
they just stock those for some reason. It's really strange.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well, alright.
that answered my question. I do have
But, like,
another. Yeah.
Sorry, can I? Yeah, the other thing I was going to say, which actually I hadn't really thought of before, but like it's quite interesting. You were saying, Tom, about how the inside is kind of more of like a maybe from what Tropical Virtual kind of his idea of his local, like maybe that's kind of what his idea of his local shop is. So it's kind of like the whole concept is kind of an amalgamation of Midnight Store, which is in Wales, and the Acton East shop, which is in East London, and then Tropical Virtuals, maybe his local kind of thing. So it's kind of like an interesting, amalgamation of like the three of our sort of, I'm just
that's just the start of it as well, right? Because the idea is that people kind of imagine their own sort of like Friday and Saturday routines. Like pretty much everybody's got like a slightly strange local shop they go to kind of pick up, whatever it is that they pick up. I think it gets people's imaginations going. That's what, like, we had a little competition for we did giveaway, which Cell Shade won. Just where we were asking people to like list the names of their shops, and it was just like really amazing seeing like people list the names of their shops and like the kind of strange, quirky things about them.
Yeah, I was like thinking about that because like I want to enter, but I realized I actually don't have anything like that near where I am. Like where I am specifically, I was like so bummed. I realized that I kind of just have all these boring retail type areas, and I don't have a Midnight Store over here in Georgia.
Well, everything near you is like a big chain store, is it?
Yeah, it's mostly. There's like some small restaurants, but there's not anything that's like a furniture store. But I don't really think that counts in the way.
Where do people pick up liquor? Like, what's the closest thing to a liquor store? Like in a big Walmart or something?
It's usually a Walmart or a Publix. Yeah. We have a couple of Publixes, but
I mean those spaces are obviously really strange. Anyway, right? Like a chain store is just as strange or probably stranger than a small kind of independent retailer.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like the Power PC Me thing, right? Like Kmart tapes. Like,
it's like a Kmart thing.
That.
Yeah,
it's like a vaporwave trope, right? Like the kind of the strangeness of the supermarket.
The Strangest of the Supermarket is a wonderful title for something. Using that.
There you
go. We did I filmed a live set the other day, and I found an a cappella of the Clash singing "Lost in the Supermarket." Like you can get like the multi-track stems for London's Calling, what's it called, London Calling album, and we were like working the a cappella into some stuff we were doing.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
That might be a giveaway. I think that might be Jay. Is that on the set, or the Flamingo Fest set?
Yeah, that's the Flamingo Fest set, man.
Ooh.
It's a spoiler.
Spoiler to the Flamingo Fest set. That's awesome. I do have another related question, and I'm hoping that there's a good answer out of this. Does the owner of the Midnight Store know that you made an album based off their store?
Yes.
They do. Yes.
They do. We were like when we kind of got about, I'm gonna say like 70% into like finishing the album, we had this conversation between us of whether we were gonna, because it literally has an image of the shop on the front. We were like wondering whether or not to kind of spill the beans, but we decided to. We were gonna just like go and show them, and I think he was just a bit confused, to be honest with you.
I was hoping for like a constant reaction, and like they'll put the vinyl at their door or something like that.
Demanded royalties.
That's what we were worried about.
Yeah.
Cease and desist letters, like having spent, because our album cycles are like fairly slow in vaporwave terms. Like we're probably, I mean, we've made 2 albums in a year, so if we keep pace, two albums a year is like fairly slow compared to Super High Titan, right?
I mean, quicker than like pop.
So we'd spent half a year working on this, and then if we got like some kind of cease and desist letter being like, you can't use our shop's likeness, that would be a bit of a blow.
But he was just like, why'd you make an album based off my store? Is that kind of what the reaction was? Or?
I think he was just like, just baffled. I don't think he was annoyed or happy. He was just kind of like just really confused.
The owner of or like one of the guys who works in the other shop, this Actonese shop, like was a little bit. I don't think he liked me because I was filming some footage of their ceiling. Like I don't know if you've seen the back cover of the record, but there's like this kind of clouds motif on the ceiling, and like that's actually there in the shop. And I was just like taking loads of photos and stuff. And the guy followed me out of the shop because I don't know what, I maybe thought I was like a mystery shopper or whatever. Like I think he thought I was doing something odd. And I told him what I was doing, and he was like a bit confused, but I think he thought it was funny, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's
generally the reaction to from people that don't know what the fuck vaporwave is. Like they still like
just hearing that you're like there's an album based off just like I'm making a I'm in the store, and you hear that someone made a whole album based off your store, and it's like successful. It's like okay. Like what? I couldn't imagine that reaction. I think I would like if I was in that situation. I would be like ecstatic. It's more promotion for me. But I guess he wasn't interested, as it seems.
I think for people who aren't like massively into underground music, I think they just think that the music, like if you're a musician, you're like Taylor Swift big. Like I think people think that if you're a musician, you're a huge pop star, and I just think that like. They might have got the idea that like we were making absolute stacks off this, and there was something in it for them.
You had to assure that that's not true.
Like I told them, they were like, "What are you doing?" And I said like, "We're making an art project." I kind of felt like that was easier to explain than like we're making a pop record.
Yeah, that's still cool though. I was hoping for a yes response to that question because that was on the back of my mind. Like, what's your reaction to that? Like. So I love.
I'm actually surprised we haven't heard from, because our previous record, the Miracle Lounge, is like also a real place, and it's like the lounge which is operated by like Thai Airways. It's in Bangkok Airport. Yeah, it's a real Miracle Lounge.
I did not know there was a real Miracle Lounge.
Oh wow.
So yeah, like if anyone's gonna do a cease and desist letter, it might be more likely to be them than like a small off license in South Wales.
Yeah, and I imagine the owner of the Miracle Lounge has no clue either. Maybe.
No, but I think if you type in Miracle Lounge, I mean, it's hard to tell, like, because I think search results are different for different people. But I think like our stuff comes up just as much as theirs, which maybe is annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably noticed it. It'd be crazy to hear the album Miracle Lounge inside the Miracle Lounge. Or hearing the Midnight Store playing inside the Midnight Store.
Well, you could sit in the Miracle Lounge and listen to the Miracle Lounge whilst drinking miracle water, because that's also a real thing too.
I'm setting something on my calendar.
The water they have in this.
For next year, I'm gonna fly to the UK and meet you guys. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, we're gonna.
That sounds like such a great experience.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We'll go via Bangkok, and you can stay in the lounge for a bit as well. Take a bit of a detour.
Take a bigger detour.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great. That would just be like such a wonderful like little trip joke. But I just love the fact you could play, just because of your two albums that now I know, based off real places. I love the fact that you can, you could go to the place. That's a real place. It feels like in like some album covers like that are based off real places like that. Doesn't seem real or something like that.
That's the dream, right? Like if our career trajectory kind of skyrockets, that like maybe some person will be doing some kind of Donalend's global tour of the kind of places we mentioned, because there's other like there's other things, right? Like there's a track on Miracle Lounge called Cheetah, which is like it's the name of a Japanese whiskey, but like it's also a city in Siberia. Like I haven't been there, but I guess if you're hardcore, you could go to a very cold but like quite beautiful looking city in Russia.
You like it. That's just wonderful. I had something, but I forgot, unfortunately. That was actually our next question, was about Miracle Lounge. Dang it.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta skip that one.
Knew it. No, well,
you knew it.
Yeah,
go for it.
How the fuck do you guys get the questions? What the fuck is going on?
We downloaded the cheat sheet.
You got the cheat sheet. Oh,
I should have known.
You can go ahead with the
It's
question.
because we're both teachers, right? We know how to do that. We're both have been teachers.
You know how
Well-
to download the cheat sheet. You found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at my paper from across the ocean.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Yeah,
You can go ahead with the question now, second site.
Yeah, it was gonna be what was the story behind Miracle Launch, but you kind of beat us to
Yeah.
the punch there. But
Maybe there's like more to add behind the story before lounge. Why you went with the place? Maybe
like I'm curious.
Do they play lounge music in the Miracle Lounge? Is the music based off it, or is that like
I was there. Like I have been in the Miracle Lounge. It's like it's not especially glamorous, but it is like like an airplane business lounge. I don't think they play music. They might play like very quiet, like Thai like traditional Thai music. But like quite a lot of the sounds on the Miracle Lounge album are from like kind of weird YouTube travel vlogs of like people who review airport lounges and like airplane and airport experiences. So like I think there are some like actual field recordings that like I made there and like friends made for us in actual airports. But some of the coolest sounds were sourced just like pulled off kind of strange travel vlogs on YouTube with like the real sound. Can't remember what the word is. Like in film, I think it's the word is like diegetic or diegesis, like the sound that is in the actual place, right? So like the actual sounds of the airport, but like also the kind of weird royalty-free music on these travel vlogs. Like we used quite a lot of these sort of jingle type sounds.
That's crazy. So it was based more on the experience of the Miracle Lounge, less from the music from it, because there was no music really.
Yeah, I think there might be in the entrance. I think like very gentle Thai, like traditional Thai music. But I think like people don't want to be disturbed in a lounge space. They just want to like raid the buffet and read the paper.
Yeah. I guess I think of lounge. I usually think of like I guess some like very generic kind of stock sound, maybe ambient music in a way, in like a hot tub.
Yeah.
I guess that's what kind of comes to my mind. And it did
That's,
when I was in the lounge too. It put me in like a hot tub, like, literally in my mind.
You need to listen to the upcoming Data Girl album for that, right? That's her concept, isn't it? The destination spa concept.
Right, Destination Spa. I was like, oh, I thought you knew about a new like upcoming thing. I forgot about the Destination Spa for a sec, but
Well, it is, isn't it? It's coming out on Friday, I think, or Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
September the 12th.
Saturday. She's doing her set at Flamingo Fest is a like visual walkthrough of the like space, the artwork, and also through the audio, so through the album. So
it's the whole album, right? Like in visual form.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, definitely
definitely
watch and listen to that. It's like amazing.
Can't wait to show up for that.
Yeah. Also watch that because she's just before us.
Well, I'm showing up for every set there. Just everyone that playing there. I feel like I know, and I'm like, these are all cool people.
I'll do my best, but I work third shift, so I don't even know if I'll even be awake for it.
Don't worry, there should be VODs, right? It'll be recorded and put on YouTube.
It'll probably be on Vapor Memory.
It's all gonna go up on in some form after it's been broadcasted at some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully faster than what Pat Jennings doing. I think he hasn't even gotten to DDS. It's been like 3 months. But
Shots fired.
No, I'm not shooting fire. No, I
kidding.
love Pad. It's just I actually preferred more the early sets, like the Hero set and the Dawnland set. I did show up for that because I remember hearing you guys actually explain the story of Midnight Store for the first time there, if I'm correct, and then you did the single premiere. I think that was the first time, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think that was the first time people heard any tracks from it. We had like in our set we had 1 or 2 Midnight Store tunes.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was so excited to be there.
Thanks for tuning in because we were clashing with Runners Club 95, which is really painful.
I mean, I had to go with the artist that followed me back on Twitter and was cool with me. No offense to Runners Club because I did just follow me today, but I mean, it's up on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna say that set's on YouTube. Everyone should go and check that out. That Runners Club '95 set had Chennington's Block Party. That was awesome, amazing. They're both like insanely talented. Like
Yeah.
big, huge, massive fan. Them, we both are.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. You two kind of like go along in a weird way. Like, I feel like you're connected, just like spiritually.
Yeah, they were probably the first artists in the scene who we did connect with. Like Carl heard our album, heard Miracle Lounge like before it was released. Like we sent it to him just like because we had like no perspective on whether people were gonna like it, like whether it was vaporwave enough, like anything. And he was like, well, he was reassuring, but like beyond reassuring. He was like, whoa, this is really good.
I mean, it is really good, so I can't blame him.
But it means a lot to hear from him because they're immaculate.
Yeah,
that's a wonderful describing word. Yeah, I think I love all your sets you guys do because you do it like live, and everyone at that Pad Chennington Block Party kind of did it live. You know, they had most of them. You know, they were like IRL. They were doing whatever artists do with their synths. I really don't know, but you actually got to see the instruments as they were playing. And that's just such a cool experience because I feel like in vaporwave it can kind of be like, misleading from the music towards, the artist. But no, you see Dino Lens play that note live. You're watching that note as it hits. I think you're like
just different ways of performing though. Like we haven't had like a like a broadcast DJ set, like that hasn't happened yet. But we did a mix for Groove Remote, which was like really fun to do. So like a Donor Lens DJ set isn't, it is something that can happen and has happened already. Like we're not snooty about doing that at all.
Like I could totally see you guys at like Econ or like 100% Electronicon. I don't know when those, big shot. I think that would be awesome to see you play. I think you guys would go do great. Just alongside with like Equip and Telepath and all those other cool names that do live show. I would love that.
We'd love that as well.
I definitely.
If
any of you are listening and you have for some reason are controlling 100% Electronicon, please contact this group, please.
Yeah, get on that.
I
shit.
swear, get on that shit. Yeah, the second site did it better than I could. I would love to see any artists, vaporwave artists live, because I kind of got into vaporwave like just recently during this whole COVID. So the closest I got was seeing you across the screen. But I count that as live.
Yeah, it really suits the music. Like I think the vaporwave scene is like one musical genre that has kind of flourished with this whole situation. Like whereas like almost every other genre has really struggled. Like I've got loads of friends in London who are like gigging jazz and classical musicians, and their whole world kind of was pulled from beneath them. Like their gigs that they used to have no longer exist, and it'd be very difficult for them to like playing a jazz gig on Twitch. Like I'm sure it happens, but that's niche. Whereas like there's something about like the music that we make and the kind of aesthetic and art style that people like. It's so congruent with like streaming technology and like the fact that people are really geographically dispersed. Like it perfectly suits our music. But we're like we in the vaporwave community are very lucky that's the case, because it doesn't really work for some other things.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Most other things.
It's been amazing how many online shows and stuff have like happened over the past couple of months.
Yeah.
It's been like there's like something going on like almost every week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm playing at one. I don't even make music. Like that's how awesome some of these sets are.
Like I remember
I don't count. So I think Second Sight played as like a 1 or 2 if I'm correct. So live shows are so much fun, but there's always a lot to it. I like telling the story of my first live show because that was like 2 months ago, and it was such an embarrassing thing that I did because it was like the night before, and they're like, "Hey, you want to do one for the after party set?" And me being not knowing how to edit or even do anything with music, I had nothing. And so my last album was Night Beach. It was basically just based off like a real fictional, like beach, and it's like dark. and I'm in my room at like 1 a.m. What do I do? How do I record? So I turn on my TV, I open Super Mario 64, and then I play the water levels, and then I use that as my set
Nice.
with
That's cool.
with,
Nice.
like, horrible recording, like across the room from the TV, kind of.
Hey, I mean, it worked.
It did work. It was one of the weirdest things like ever. It's
Oh
so
man, I want
embarrassing.
to see that. You got
I-
to link that in the in the in the YouTube video or whatever.
I haven't put it on YouTube. I have the file still, but I'm like, oh god, this is so embarrassing.
I don't think it's
Honestly.
that
I mean,
bad.
the music
We've
is,
done
is
something
great.
weirdly similar. I'm not going to say
Really?
what it is, but there's something similar
Actually,
coming up.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Get me all
Oh.
hyped.
I'm excited. It was just such a weird experience for me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna attempt to, make a live show, being someone who doesn't know how to do it. So I got someone to edit it.
The like Alex from Pacific Plaza, trucks. He did like a trucks passing trucks set at one of
yeah.
their streaming events,
I remember seeing
which
that.
like I featured on playing my like stupid electronic wind instrument thing. They were just playing Wave Racer 64
I remember that.
with his like kind of echoed out edits of the soundtrack. It's so fun. Like it's just a very memorable set.
I think I was there for that, actually. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I was there because I was tuning in for the Groovy Godzilla set. And that was actually super cool.
Yeah.
I love stuff
gaming stuff is a big part of the, a lot of people's. There's so much crossover between like vaporwave enthusiasts and game enthusiasts. I think it like really got people.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Vapor's set from the Block Party, where like it's him, like it's still him, but then the background green screen is him, like it's like Mario in background, like a hard like, am I real in the game kind of. Except mine wasn't as interactive. It felt like it was more distant because it felt. I was like, how do I immerse the watcher into, beach at night, despite the fact that there's no beach near me. I had nothing. It's just like you got to make do with what you have. And the worst part about it that I hate telling this, but the last song was more cheery. I'm like, oh, what do I do? So I picked up my 3DS, and then after I'm done playing Mario, I just had my 3DS there, and then I just kind of swam around in the water in a Pokemon game. It is super sad.
That all sounds really good. That sounds bang on.
Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, it's sort of cool, but like it's just like the worst recording quality. It's like so like, oh, I did this in like 10 minutes, or I don't have a good phone, type of thing.
Well, again,
I'll put it up. I'll put it on YouTube if people are actually interested.
Well, again, I think the aesthetics of the quality kind of worked for the benefit.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, I saw
Did
it.
you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you saw it. There was like 20 people showed up. It was like an after party.
I
so.
never miss any set that I'm involved with. I never miss it.
That's awesome. I like that.
And I'm not trying to sound like stuck up about it. I just
Yeah.
I just get excited.
All right, let's go back. I think this is the last question before our Twitter questions. After the smallest sidetrack. This is like a weird question, but which of your albums is your favorite and why? It's a hard question, but I feel like
Super difficult.
Yeah.
I think for me, Midnight Store is probably my favorite. Wait, as in of our stuff?
yeah, as in Donovan's music.
Yeah, it's probably Midnight Store for me because I think that we were kind of trying to figure out what we were doing in Miracle. In the Miracle Lounge, we were kind of trying to figure out what we were going to do, like different techniques and stuff. Whereas I feel like in Midnight Store we had kind of more of a,
more refined. I guess.
yeah, exactly, and like we were just way more used to the kind of workflow, and yeah, like just how putting it together. I think was just for me anyway. It just felt like it was a lot smoother. I mean, I like both albums a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, it's just like, that's a hard choice to make. I know. I always ask that, and it's a really hard question. There's a lot that goes into it. Like the reception from the people, and then you working on it if you enjoyed it while making it. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's there like who's your favorite child question, really, isn't it?
Oh Lord. Okay, we won't ask that question. If anyone's we won't.
Actually, can I be really contrary and say that I don't know if I prefer Miracle Lounge to Midnight Store, but like there's like I'm like still like quite charmed by it because it was like a little bit more naive and like we were finding our feet a little bit. Like, so there's moments of like us being quite confident in what we're doing, and then there's like some kind of slightly more kind of raw moments, and it's quite nice to hear. Like Midnight Stories, like we had one very strict concept that we kind of adhered to. Miracle Lounge, like some of the tracks don't have a huge amount to do with like the concept. Like it's not a straight concept album, and so I guess that's quite nice. Like some of it just sounds like we're making music, just like it's just like two mates making music and having fun doing it. So like I kind of hear that in the tracks. Like not everybody will hear that, but some of that sounds like that to me, and it's nice to hear. Just like a snapshot of us like a year ago or a year and a half ago.
Feels like that's just what you guys do. You're just two bros making good music,
Totally
That's just kind of what I guess you guys are. Donovan's is just two bros having fun, making banger. I don't know, banger's probably not the right word, but
we'll take back ambient bangers sometimes.
I think personally though, I do have to go with Midnight Store, mostly because I'm a sucker for like just words. Like I like me some ambient. I love ambient. I love ambient music, but I really really like vocals when just vocals in general. I don't know why, but I sometimes just end up preferring.
Well, it definitely helps with something.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going with that.
I mean, like, it's a weird thing. Like, I absolutely love Miracle Lounge, but for some reason, it's just I like lyrics. I like words.
Well, I think 99% of people do, right?
that's
like it's
true.
not. I don't think that's a hot take, right? Like
I don't. Yeah.
You're allowed to say that you like songs.
Yeah.
It's allowed.
And I do.
It's cool.
And yeah, because Jana did an amazing job on the vocals. I think Jana, am I saying your name wrong? Apologies if I'm saying.
Yeah, shout out. Yana Tyrrell is her name. But I think she's happy with any pronunciation. I think she enjoys. She tries out different ones herself sometimes. I think.
I was gonna have a question about that. I mean, you don't know how long we've been recording. It's probably been a while, but
we're at 47.
All right, maybe I can include this question because I do want to know how you and Jana met, just you two, and how how the whole Midnight Store song happened. How did she?
So she like Yana's. I mean Jay knows Yana through me, but I've known her for maybe 6 or 7 years maybe, and I've like always been making music with her. So I was chatting to Skeleton Lipstick on DMs like earlier today, and because he has like a special interest in like vocal vaporwave, which I guess like that's kind of what you were getting at as well.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of trying to subtly or not so subtly like push this kind of concept of like vapor pop, which I think like quite accurately describes what we do sometimes. Like not always, but we've got like definitely got some pop songs in our discography, and like I think it describes what Runners Club do very well. I think it describes what Echo Droid does quite well.
Yeah, there's like a few other.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the Skeleton Lipstick and Luxury Elite record as well, like that, like some sample-based music with original vocals. But yeah, I was chatting to Skeleton about can't remember why. I hope I wasn't just talking about myself for no reason to him, but there was a reason. But I was saying that I'd worked with Yana for years, and so I guess on these same hard drives with my like old, like kind of early 2010s vaporwave experiments, I was sort of making kind of hyperpop stuff with
Oh.
her. Like, so I mean, we're both in London. So me and Yana are both in London, and Jay was at the time as well. And like just as sort of the kind of PC music thing was starting to happen. And we used to go to like some of those parties and stuff, and like the music's really silly, but it's also like really forward thinking as well.
Yeah.
So we were making like kind of music that sounded a little bit more like Sophie or Charlie XCX or that kind of thing, Tommy Cash.
That's quite a jump from what you're doing now, at least in my eyes.
Yeah. But like still, I guess like making pop music with like slightly out there sound sources. So we were kind of doing that, but again, like we didn't really know how to find an audience and stuff. But yeah, so like I guess on like all the projects I've been trying in the meantime, like Yana's kind of often hopped on, and she sings and produces her own music. Like she was doing it under the band name Liska, which Jay and I used to perform in. Like we've done a few gigs as her backing band, basically.
Oh.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, yeah, we've known her for a while, and she just she hops on our projects. I think one thing I'm really hoping for is for people to hear more of her solo stuff, like because I've heard her works in progress, and they're wild.
Wild, you say?
Yeah,
She's a talented singer, really.
yeah.
It's awesome
But
to hear.
I want people to hear her production chops because her productions are like really creative.
I'm interested. That's for
Yeah.
sure. You gotta support your artist, of course. If I see it on the timeline, I will, of course. I imagine she's an awesome singer, so her music has to be awesome. I mean, like that's like a correlation, at least in my eyes. All right, I think we should go on to the Twitter questions because we had quite a few.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead,
So,
Mr. Second.
So from Super High Titan asks, are there any artists that you'd like to collab with?
Specific question, but
It's a good question. Jay, you want to take this?
Sorry, I actually didn't hear the question.
oh,
What were you doing?
Sorry, no. I think my connection just dropped out for a second. Then.
Oh, you're fine.
You're good. So from Super High Titan on Twitter asks, are there any artists that you want to collab with?
Super High Titan
yeah, the Titan.
would be one. That'd be sick.
Oh, there you go.
Collab with him. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I can't off the top of my head, my mind's gone completely blank. But like we've been like so blessed with everyone we've worked with so far, and yeah, we want to continue to work with different people. Like there's such a wide range of sort of styles and like techniques and all kinds. Do you know what I mean? Like each different person you work with just brings a whole new project.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I definitely.
We have got like a bunch of collabs in the works that we like. Once this kind of Flamingo Fest is over the line, we need to get back on. But there are some like exciting things, and like we did a remix album of Miracle Lounge. Like it's definite possibility that we do the same with Midnight Store, and
that would be great.
Pretty confident that we can attract some like really exciting people to work on that. I mean, I think one thing that would be cool is like we like chat regularly to so many people in the scene, but I don't think like anybody really in the 100% crew, like with the exception of maybe FM Skyline, are like particularly aware of what we do. Like FM Skyline, I think is like knows what we're doing because they've got a connection with Tropical Virtual as well.
Wow.
So that's our like one kind of connection to that kind of nexus. But yeah, like obviously, I mean that'd be sick to work with somebody from that stable would be really cool.
Oh yeah, it's definitely rare, at least for the people we interview and a lot of people I know in general in the community to be noticed by anyone in the 100% electronic crew. Every once in a while, I had FM Skyline like one of my tweets once, but that's the closest I've gotten. I think that was the the rainforest announcement tweet actually. It's just
Yeah,
weird.
well, I think FM Skyline's just got an amazing eye for artwork, right? So I'd imagine
Oh
just
yeah,
really into that
that
Lunatas
Lunas
cover, right?
Lunata. I'm probably saying their name wrong. I apologize. I've probably been saying it wrong this whole time. If it's
What am I
Lunatas,
supposed? What,
Lunas, I would have to ask because I do not know. But yeah, that's
Lunitas, yeah.
yeah, that should be right. Lunitas.
I've been going with Lunatas, like something to do with moons and stuff, right? Like Luna.
That makes sense. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. It's like every interview I'll say something like someone's name wrong. Like I said Vilter's name wrong for like half that interview.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I would imagine. But knowing anyone in that crew and them being aware of your work is awesome because everyone who's in that crew is cool. I don't, but I've never really had any interactions with anyone like that. Not yet, at least. When you're just a small name, I would love to have them on one day. That'd be great. Let's take that next Twitter question. This one is by Jin, Eventual Infinity, who was on this podcast a little while back that got deleted, but unfortunately. What is an unexpected benefit of collaborating with someone almost purely online? Very specific question.
I saw that question earlier. I was thinking, like, you can read that question two ways, right? Like, because he could be talking about the way that me and Jay work together, which, like, because we're in different cities, like, so we do mainly work remotely. Like, we started like, as the kind of lockdown restrictions have kind of waxed and waned, like, we have spent more time together when it's been allowed. But I think we're so used to just like we transferring parts to each other. Like that works really well. But I guess Eventual could be asking about like collaborations with other people. Don't lend tracks with other artists, which is also remote working.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean we've done like maybe 3 things with him, maybe more.
Yeah.
And
you guys work really well together. I love both your sounds and how they mix.
Yeah, I think we got the most recent thing we've done. Like, I think we need to push a little bit more. So like we remixed his Mornings in Hawaii track with Fake Fever, and I think it's just like it got slightly buried amongst other stuff, like including just like Eventual's album just doing really well. I think we'll give that like a little bit of a push because I think people need to hear those remixes.
Yeah, those remixes are great. I love that because that was so original to me to see like not just a single release but also 3 remixes of that single.
Yeah.
By 3 like completely different, widely ranged artists.
Mm-hmm.
But I love your guys' remix. I love just the original track too. I think Fake Fever is amazing at what they do.
Yeah.
I wish that Eventual Infinity interview was still here at the podcast because we talked about that a lot when we did that with them. But unfortunately, I think we're at our.
There were tech difficulties, were there?
Yeah, tech difficulties, unfortunately, with that interview. But hey,
oh man, he's like the nicest guy. I'm sure he was chill with it.
He's such a nice guy. Everyone we do interviews with, it seems to be just be nice people. I really appreciate, like, oh, that's Donnerlands. They're super big, and they're like, oh wow, they have 1,000 followers, but no, they're just chill dudes.
Yeah,
they're just chill dudes.
So there's 2 of us. It makes it easier, right? We can share the workload. So we got 500 followers, really, 500 each.
500. Distribute it evenly. Like that. I think we're at our final question here, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We are, unfortunately, but it's been a good one. Go for it.
Yeah, so from Civic Duty Records, was there a single moment when you guys felt that a significant step forward in your music happened?
Good question.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm looking at that question now. Jay, do you want to take it?
Can you just say the question again one more time?
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry, I think like sometimes your line keeps cutting out, so I'm struggling to hear a little bit.
Yeah, my mic's a few years old, so it might be that. So I apologize.
Should I ask it or?
No,
No, go again.
Yeah.
Go again.
So from Civic Duty Records,
Yeah.
was there a single moment when you felt that a significant step forward in your music happened?
He says, well, they say some stuff afterwards, right? Like they're talking about like production, writing,
Yeah, like
the
which
things like that.
specifically? Yeah.
Just like big breakthrough.
What was that moment? I feel like there was a specific moment, like in between Miracle Lounge and Midnight Store. I forgot the name for a second. Wow, but
I get those records. I call it Miracle Store and Midnight Lounge the whole time.
Miracle Store sounds really cool.
Oh man, we
Yeah.
should make like a mashup of both albums.
Yeah, like what's it called? You know, the Grey album, right? Like, was it Jay-Z's Black album with the Beatles' White album at the same time?
Yeah.
Just play them on
Yeah.
top of each other.
Yes, let's do that.
There you go.
We're not going to make a third album. We're just going to play the two at the same time.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
That sounds really weird, but I'm down for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't you think, Jay? Don't you think like in terms of like a break, like not necessarily in terms of like our creativity, but like getting asked to do the Pat Jennington gig was really big. I think like we did.
Yeah, I guess,
It wasn't our first streaming. It was the first like streaming thing that we filmed. Like I think actually the like Ronnie's Vapor Space event went out the evening before.
Yeah.
But like we worked our asses off for that. Because like we kind of set ourselves a slightly ridiculous workflow for it. Like we wanted to do like one of these kind of session type videos. Like you see loads on YouTube of like JD Beck and Domi and Wolfpack and like Lewis Cole, Noah, like all these kind of like slightly muso people doing like session videos of them like playing their tunes on instruments with like kind of funny edits and stuff. And like we did that, but obviously there's two of us, so we had to like film all our parts separately of us building our tracks from the ground up. And we worked really hard for that project, but like we kind of knew that people would appreciate that. Like it was obvious that work went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that definitely was like a kind of I feel like from when we did that first kind of live set kind of stuff, and because now we're kind of trying to like do as many kind of live shows as we can. I say live shows, like streams and stuff like that. I think that's kind of changed our attitude as well, like as a group, like especially when we can travel around and stuff again. Like that's definitely going to be one of our top priorities, is like trying to do some gigs in the UK, trying to do some in Europe, trying to do some in the States, hopefully. So I think that's definitely definitely a change. I don't know. I just feel like in general, like in the past couple of months, like stuff's really really kicked up a notch, which is really exciting.
It's all like exponential though, right? Like I'm sure like music careers have ups and downs, but like we're new artists, and like hustling for your first like 50 listeners is so hard, and then there are all these kind of it's not like jumping from 50 to 100, because that's not as hard as finding those first 50 and stuff. Like I think there's like an element of like exponential, I don't know what the word is, exponentiality or something, like it's the things kind of accelerate like when people take notice of you. Like I think we're still on like rung 2 of a ladder. We've got like a long way to climb, I think, but like the getting onto those first couple of rungs is hard.
Yeah, I feel like
definitely.
that, like the amount of zeros you have and that like social media followers. I know you guys just hit like 1,000 recently, I think, on the account. Like, that's like big for the scene. 1,000 followers only happens to like a handful amount of people. You gotta the more followers, the more reach, the more listeners. It's hard.
Yeah. But it's more important that there are people who care about you. Like it's the same with Spotify. Like we're lucky enough to have like been chosen by the official Spotify Vaporwave playlist, and like one of the other big ones. Like we've had a couple of tunes like picked up by those. And like obviously that means like more people are listening to our tunes, but like the number that you should be caring about is like people who click through to your Bandcamp and like actually, you know, invest in the music, or like even, you know, people who hit the follow button and just like, you know, choosing to engage. Because, you know, if thousands of people are just shuffling through a playlist and not really paying attention, like that's not an active listen. That's not somebody being like, oh, you know, Donna Lenz, we're going to take note of them. That's just like somebody might have heard your music, but they weren't listening. So I think like beating yourself up about stats or like reading too much into stats is, we need to be careful. I mean, we do it, like we both like looking at the stats, but you can read like false information from them, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. You guys are big on Spotify then, really. It seems if you had a track
Well,
the big playlist, you know, I guess you. I
mean, we're nowhere compared to, you know, Tupperwave and people like that, but
Yet.
you know, we're further ahead than we were.
I do consider you on the same level, at least in my eyes.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys, you know, I like to say like, you know, made it, like with like quotation marks around it. I guess made it means, you know, like, oh, you're on a big label and like you're a recognizable name in the scene. I feel like you guys have definitely made yourself a recognizable name in the scene. At least in my opinion.
Man, well, that's nice to hear.
I
Yeah,
really
thank you.
Because the amount of, you know, activity you have in the scene and how you communicate with, you know, so many amazing artists. You know,
I think that's the key point, though, isn't it? Right? There's just so many amazing artists and just so many amazing people as well. And you just speak to people, and it's from people all around the world. It's just awesome to see every day on Twitter, whatever, Instagram, everywhere. It's just crazy. Like all the amazing people, they're all connected by this one thing. It's pretty mad.
Yeah, but
I think people have got some perspective as well, right? Because you can, like in vaporwave terms, you can be a massive artist, and then, it's, you know, it's still in like the grand scheme of things, it's, you know, nothing compared to like the kind of pop sphere as a whole. So I think like people don't or shouldn't or don't get like too big for their boots, and you see like, you know, big name vaporwave acts interacting with, you know, fans, or, you know, people who make music but who don't have any real audience of their own. You see like, you know, kind of very democratic interactions on social media the whole time. I think it's really good. Like, there aren't many people who are too big for their boots in this world. It's nice to see.
Yeah, that's for sure. My phone's buzzing. I don't know why. Apologies, but yeah, we're out of questions. But yeah, thank you. This was definitely really fun. I enjoyed, you know, talking to the Donna Lenz crew.
Oh, we've enjoyed it as well.
Store.
Yeah, thanks
this was enjoyable. Thank
coming
you.
out at nearly.
Do you want to like
9
real
o'clock.
quick plug your stuff? You know, self promo. We'll make sure to have it in the description. You know, Donna Lenz. You have a Bandcamp, right? Donna Lenz at Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's through the My Pet Flamingo Bandcamp is probably the best place to find our stuff. We've got our own Bandcamp, but like it mainly links through to the records on MPF.
Yeah, and go follow My Pet Flamingo.
Yeah, so you got Donna Lenz, DonnaLenz.bandcamp.com, MyPetFlamingo.bandcamp.com.
One of the best labels in the scene.
Well, thank you.
Maybe the best, but I was actually debating with someone about that.
It's definitely up there.
Definitely up there. Yeah, that is something, you know, like we were going to make like a tier list. But
you guys are too kind.
Somebody did make a tier list, right? But it was with the like Dungeons and Dragons things, you know, with like the chaotic neutral and all that stuff. I can't remember. You MPF guys came out of it like relatively unscathed.
Yeah, I still don't really understand how that system works. But
yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I'm not a D&D guy, so I don't know.
None of us are.
We'll need somebody. Maybe if anyone's listening in, can they explain it to us? Because it's like a meme format that's like we only half understand.
It depends which of the things they put you under. I imagine they put you on like something nice. I think there's like a nice side, and then there's like a mean side. It's like a spectrum, I think.
Yeah, it was one of the nice ones, but like with an element of like chaos or like mischievous.
I think we were like chaotic neutral.
You guys are not chaotic neutral. I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah.
Maybe it was chaotic good. Is that one?
Yeah, chaotic
Chaotic good, maybe.
I think they gave that to a low city. I don't know how to like look up that message. So
Yeah, I can't remember who made it.
I don't know.
I
We'll,
don't. I have.
we'll fix it
lack
with
of
our
memory,
own.
but-
Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you guys. This was awesome.
No, thank you.
And,
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's fun.
the
Yeah, thanks for
VaporCast.
having us.
See you guys next episode.